Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be going over Agentic Workspaces. This is basically a fancy way to say that you can run Claude or Codex or ChatGPT with a team and set up a workspace for multiple people that has all the same context and all of the same files, all the same chat history, so on and so forth, so that you can actually do work together with other people on your team. Right now, there's not really a good way to do this, but there's actually these hidden features inside of Claude and Codex or ChatGPT here that allow you to actually connect to the workspace that you would want to set up with your team. So by the end of this video, you should be able to connect your own servers to your workspace, find out where to get a server and how to do that, and then understand sort of the mechanism on how it all works, as well as get it set up for your team. First off, let's start by understanding SSH keys. So this is just like a big word for a key, right? It's key to a door, right? So you need to have a key to enter the door. But the only way the key knows that that's going to work is because the little ridges on the key, it fits the pins, and then the pins, you guys know how locks work, right? The pins open, right? The pins in this case is kind of like the private key. And the public key is just the grooves, the ridges on the actual key, right? And so the private key is going to be inside the lock, and the public key is going to be the thing that you can pass around, right? So what you're going to do, you have your source, which is going to be your computer, and then we've got the target, which is, any other computer. And so this is going to be the method on how you connect to these agentic workspaces. But let's also break down how the agentic workspaces actually look like in reality. So this is going to be a virtual machine or VM, which all that means is going to be a computer. It's going to be here. And now what you're going to tell that multiple people can connect, right? So person 1 can connect, person 2 can connect, person 3 can connect. And to show you what that kind of looks like, I've got ChatGPT open here and I've done a test, and you can see it's connected to this server called TryCook Runner 3 Systems, right? And there's 3 threads in here that we can take a look at, and there's these different chats. Now, if someone else was chatting in here, I'd actually be able to see their chat history and see everything, and all the files, because it's on its own computer, are going to be contained within this instance, right? That's sort of the model that we're setting up here. The SSH key allows us to authenticate and log in to big workspace. So the first step here is you're going to need to get a VM, right? There's 2 providers that I would recommend. Hetzner, honestly, the European latency is not too bad. Hetzner's one, OVH Cloud is another one. OVH Cloud, yeah, this is another one that's pretty good. So yeah, I highly recommend these services. It's a little bit daunting at first. You're going to have to sign up and then pay, and then they're going to give you a server, and you're probably going to be handed like some keys and some information on how to, log in and stuff. So you're going to have to, use that with Claude or Codex in order to log in. So once you're in the server though, you're going to want to use, so let me show you a quick demonstration on how that would actually look. So you get the VM, it's going to give you an email, right? And then you can go to Claude and say these magic words, right? And this is why we talked about SSH. I need you to SSH into this server, right? And set up Claude Code plus Codex for me, plus rsync. I'll go into what rsync is in a minute, but this is a nice tool that's used to sync files across your workspace with the different platforms that we have. So once you have this set up, so once you have the IP address and the password that you've received after buying, you're going to type this prompt, basically, Claude, into, setting up everything for you. It should be able to just get in straight away. But after this, there's going to be some security precautions that we're going to want to set up to make sure this is all like properly set up. So step 2 is going to be a Tailscale. So let's go into Tailscale. Tailscale, this is a private VPN. So basically it means your own sort of network that you can connect to and you can authenticate devices on. So you know who's connected to your network at all times and you get control over it. So instead of just directly connecting to the computer, we're going to connect to a network that then connects to the computer, right? And so what we're doing here is we're putting the network in front of the computer, right? And so now the next prompt is going to be something like this. It's going to be, please install Tailscale. Let me make an account. Please install Tailscale. Help me make an account and authenticate, please. So you're going to do this twice. You're going to do this once on your computer, and you're going to do this the second time on the target. That's because in order for Tailscale to work, you need to have the network in front of whoever it is that's connecting. Say these two people have the network connected, but this one doesn't. They're not going to be able to connect, right? And that's by design. We want only people who are authenticated to the network be able to connect. And then the target computer, please install Tailscale, help me make an account and authenticate, please, and start to lock down the server, right? And what you're going to have to do here is log in as the same person, right? Use the same account, right? And make sure both are turned on. Command, which is called Tailscale up. Claude Code is probably going to reference this, or Codex is probably going to reference this and say, hey, do you want me to do Tailscale up? You're going to answer yes, right? After you've set up it on both computers, you have to be careful about this, because if you Tailscale up and you haven't done both computers, then you're going to lock yourself out of the computer. So you're not going to be able to connect anymore. And you're going to have to reboot, message support, recover, whatever it is to get back the machine. So in order to avoid having to do that, we're going to make sure we do it on both computers. Yeah, this is just like a reference word for you. Make sure you use the same account, right? So we're pretty much almost there. Step 3 is going to be, we're going to connect this Claude Code Codex. So to do it in Claude Code, it's pretty simple. What you're going to do is come over to here, and then you're going to add SSH host, right? And in here, there's all these details, right? Frankly, you don't need to know what this means. Just Control copy, and then copy it one more time. And then we'll say, hey, can you help me set this up so I can connect to my Claude Code? And that's about it. It doesn't have to be too crazy. You can just do a simple prompt like this. I encourage a lot of people to copy and paste prompts. It's really a good way, because LLMs can understand language that is like mixed and like weird and messed up. So you don't have to format it in perfect language. It can sort of parse out things. So once this is set up, then you'll see your new server pop up, and then you can click connect, and then you can, use whatever model you want to use, and you can do work like normal, right? And you have this computer now. So this is a great method for anyone to set up their workspaces with their team. That's what we have here. You can see one of our team members like working on this. This is, really the best way to set up a workspace that multiple people can use. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with this workspace, right? That you can go on to install and fix and other things. Let's get into that. So step 4, let's go back to the thing that I was talking about before, which is rsync plus others, right? So yeah, maybe it's rclone. Okay, so I misspoke. It's rclone. But rclone is this program that allows you to add different drives to your computer, right? This is Google Drive. So what rclone can do is actually let you add that drive into your computer. So if we go to Excalidraw here, rclone, you can say to Claude Code, hey, I have Google Drive, and I need you to help me set up right? And then you should be able to get it set up pretty easily. So yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of how to set up the Agentic Workspace. I have a detailed step-by-step checklist on how to do all the things here to set it up for your team. But yeah, this is a great way to sort of share work between teams and work on the same thing at once. For our use case, we have all of our clients' data and knowledge base in the same place, so that whenever we go to Claude or Codex to ask a question, we're going to get an answer that is actually grounded in real information, right? And it's not going to be spread out across 10,000 apps. It's going to be centralized so that we can have a real source of truth for something. Because a big problem that companies face when they scale is they get so much data and so much stuff going on that they can't really get clarity over everything. So this is our way of doing that, but I hope you found this helpful, and yeah, go set up your Agentic Workspace and have fun. Thanks. See you.